becoming a CEO of, a large organization, a very important organization, there's a learning curve with that too. What were the most challenging parts of those first 90 days when you entered the role?
Well, when I entered the role, I would say the most challenging part was that it was right as COVID was entering the country. So within 3 months was when, we shut down. And so that's a pretty heavy lift as the new CEO to think about that. And I think, one of the challenges there is that sometimes there's a preference to say, let's go for structural change. Let's structurally take cost out. Let's reduce people, and yet I felt so strongly, and I think my leadership team did as well, that we have a commitment to the communities that we serve. Like, it's a contract in a way. I mean, because we're their access to healthcare. So in this time, it's not really the time to reduce spaces or to reduce staff. And so I think some of the hard things were, as a new CEO, I went to the leadership team and I asked them to basically cut all their pay. We cut a few things like, 401k and vacation benefits, but we were able to not have any furloughs or layoffs, which allowed us to keep our bases even though they weren't operating in operation and to be there. And so after a little bit, then we obviously started transporting a lot of COVID patients. And our supply chain, which we had invested in quite a bit, was able to supply PPE when people were not able to get it. And we were even able to share it with other air medical providers and even with some of our hospital partners. And we shared ventilators and really were able to kind of meet that commitment. And I think that was all really great. The other side of that was working with the board and to show assumptions about, I think that this volume is going to return in 3 months, or if it comes back at this level in 3 months, and actually developing scenarios. So I developed basically 4 scenarios of different timing to give them comfort that we didn't need to, move right now to like close bases and lay people off, because I really felt strongly that in a couple of months we would want them all back. And we had this commitment, and it worked out. Honestly, it's the first time in my entire career where a model has ever worked out the way that you want it. So maybe there was help from some other place for that, but it did work out. And I think that was challenging because you needed to build trust with your team, trust with all your teammates out in the field, trust with your board in a really volatile time when no one has ever been through this before. And you're going with your gut. A lot of it is just with your gut and with what you think is the right thing to do to be good and to do good.